Welcome back, guys, to the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Well, last episode, after showing Susato around Madame Tuspel's until the Sholmes waxwork ambushed her, we questioned the Great Detective and asked him why he lied, while also showing him a picture of Enoch Drebber, with Herlock being evasive in his answers, but inviting us to pay 5 shillings to see behind the special exhibit curtain. There we witnessed a scene that turned out to be the Professor escaping the grave. With the criminal's head missing, we were surprised to identify the headed waxwork as the elusive Drebber himself, as we learned more about the serial killings of years gone by, picking up some weird evidence from the area before Gina interrupted, shooting a smoke gun wildly to give us some news. Sorry, I got scared. You should try being the one on the other end of the barrel. So, what brings you here, Gina? What brings me here? What do you think? We found it! We found that dodgy cove's workshop! What? You found Drebber's workshop? Yep, Toby's nose took me straight there. The boss and the others are heading over there now in a drag, so come on. Here's the address. I got the boss to run it out. Oh, thank you, Gina. We'll make our way there at once. Alright then, see you there. You go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay here, being still. What? I know my place in the exhibit over there. Oh dear. Someone is feeling sorry for himself. Let's go, Mr. Sholmes. You're coming. Your words hearten me, I must say, but if I were to shirk my duties here, Madame would have me pay monetary recompense and Iris's dinner plate would be empty once more. Forget that, I'll pay for everything. Then there's not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall hail a carriage at once. No offer to share the cost from Mr. Sholmes, then? I shall gladly pay half, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you, Miss Susato. Right, let's go. And so, we begin the episode properly, in a sense. At Enoch Drebber's workshop. What is this? The real thing? That looks like... Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine! Indeed, it would appear so, though only a prototype, naturally. Ah, so you got here then. Gina, well done for finding this place. And in such little time. You've really worked miracles. It's Toby here who's the miracle worker. Ah, I thought you lot would show up before long. Something wrong with your eyes? Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. Looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. Maybe he puts too much lemon on it. So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer? Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here. Oh, what a shame. Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us the chance to investigate. According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue that you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say go to pass with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I? Thank you. Anyway, if you open to snoop around in here, I'd get cracking. Lord Van Zeeks and the forensic investigation team are on their way here as we speak. Them again. I imagine you've got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to lawyer types. Right. So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance. And you, Sholmes. Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do to lawyers. Very droll, Gregson, very droll. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork model. Right then, let's see what we can find in here. Well, I guess we got some talking with Gregson to do as well when you look at it. He's right here after all. Should we start up on high? Looks like a different design. I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. That machine is covered by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. There would be serious repercussions if you were to examine it, the Crown and the government. Well, those two don't seem to be holding back. Looks quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices or deception to be seen, my dear fellow. No loose change dropped on the floor, nothing. Not even a bone for Toby here, my dear fella. British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they? I think that's just these two, Miss Susato. Why is there an archery set? This is a European-style quiver of arrows with steel bolts inside. Oh, sorry, I forgot the crossbow set. Oh, do you suppose... Crossbow bolts, these. And just the right size for the bow you lot turned up at the exhibition grounds. In other words... Yep, that's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam. The details of the crossbow have been updated in the court record. Well, that's a very important piece of evidence for specifically us. This door doesn't want to open. Yeah, looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it. There's a specialist locksmith on his way over from the yard, so hands off till he gets here. With permission, Inspector, I could have that lock open in less than a minute. Well, you don't have permission, and no one's given it to you. Gregson looked as though he really enjoyed that. Well, there's no sound of anybody on the other side. No, Drebber must have fled at the first sign of danger. Indeed he did. What's this trophy for? Ah, this appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say? It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. I've no doubt that if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains will soon go away. Now I'm like, do the Japanese have back massagers or something like this? It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist could wish for no higher honor. Ah. Would you like a massage? No, I'm fine. Thank you. I had no idea it was such a grand thing. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this Mr. Enoch Drebber than conjuring tricks. I couldn't agree more, my dear madame. And how about you, Mr. Naruhodo? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? Over your tired shoulders, of course. He's not going to let that go, is he? It's curious, though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times. The science trophy has been entered into the court record. Hi? Oh! Is something wrong, Miss Susato? Well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. Well, Gina, did you hear it too? Yeah, I heard it and all. What do you reckon, Toby? Right, mind the grease. Whoever's in there, open up. This is Scotland Yard. Oh my, someone is in there. Ah, this rotten bleeding lock. My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago, if only it were countenanced, I could unlock that door in less than a minute. Fine, I'll take the rap for it. Just get us through that blasted door. There, you may enter at will. You've confused minutes with seconds, I think. Time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for? Nothing for, I suppose. This is an emergency. There's a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you will seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow. Yes. Things are moving on fast. What? Okay. Whoa! Bad. Run, flee. What? What's happening here? Why is everything upside down? Rats, there ain't no one in here after all. I don't know, check the safe. But there must be. It was only moments ago that we heard those noises. Maybe that was the sound of Drebber running away. But there's only one door into this room. Or, you know, there's a roof. And no windows that could afford an escape route. Those skylights are too high. What's that up there? Are they footprints on the ceiling? Blow me. What are we here then? Looks like someone was trying to burn something in a hurry. Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints. To what? To that Professor Airbrain's bombing machine, is it? Blimey! If we had these, there'd have been no need to muck about trying to investigate all that scrap metal. There is something of great interest here, too. This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of that pillar. A rope? What's significant about that? Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo. We must investigate the entire room thoroughly, and before the forensic investigation team arrive too. That's a bomb! Mr. Sholmes, have you found something? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, in point of fact, there's something rather fascinating. What do you make of this? Let's see. I've never seen anything like it before. It looks like a bundle of fixed cigars wrapped up in a large wash me, but Miss Susato, what's the matter? That's a... Surely that's a time bomb, isn't it?
What did you say?
Time bomb? Sorry, but, what is a time bomb exactly? You truly are one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I won't take that as a compliment. You don't know nothing, do you, Odo? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina? Yeah, but fake it till you make it. I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance. Oh, well, thank goodness. But then, what is it? I see. So that's it. Goodness, Mr. Sholmes. Have you seen to the heart of the matter? There are times when I consider my lot most unfair. For I'm fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I have learned to accept the hardships that come with being a great detective, Miss Susato. Here we go. I feel a great deduction coming. Why? I didn't even investigate everything. Once again, I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself. Oh, but how could you... And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor there is, without question, completely genuine. Please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything. It would be a pleasure. After all, it is a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade. Well, Inspector Gregson seems delighted with the idea anyway. Oh, you deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done. You're too kind, my dear madame. I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Miss Susato. Oh, yes. I'd be delighted. So, shall we begin? Once again, Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Flipped furniture. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table and chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor. Every item in the room was on the ceiling. Are you suggesting that... Indeed, the key here is gravity. It would appear the technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth. Well, the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality. Goodness! The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played this whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Miss Susato. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device, almost identical to one that featured in a dream of mine only the other day, in fact. But then why does it have a clock on it? A most relevant question indeed. That is a timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. There was clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically. And the commotion we heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment that restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of this anti-gravity device. So you see, we need look no further to explain the state in which we now find this room. The direction in which gravity acts in here was reversed by Mr. Drebber, before being restored to normality in an automatic fashion sometime later by the timer device. I have witnessed precisely the scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed. Conclusion, he's on something. Because gravity was reversed. Too many poppies. Topic 2, the missing engineer. Now let's just consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer's friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads. Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling? A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madame. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Drebber's aim was singular, to escape. However, there is but one way into this room, excepting the skylight, that is... Ah! By inverting the gravity in here, Drebber was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling and make his escape via the otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving those footprints behind on the way. But the ceiling in here is very high, Mr. Sholmes. If the gravity reversal was sudden, would Mr. Drebber have fallen up to the ceiling rather violently? Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape through the skylight was his only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution. Oh, the rope! To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? By anchoring one end to the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling. Which explains how Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via the skylight. And personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun. I feel like this conclusion, escape via the skylight, is just for fun. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' Great Deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. But I'll take this fun. We don't want no standard investigation scenes when we can have great deductions. Gregson's exclaiming. Gina doesn't care. Susato yeah. She just likes being there, I feel. She's completely spellbound. Mr. Sholmes, there is just one thing that troubles me. I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. The thing is such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean. I would say that with man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. But your whole deduction hinges on it. Ah, but my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth, however improbable it may seem. It's a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my more enduring pearls of wisdom. I had Iris come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy. Yes, I have a feeling I've read it in something that Miss Susato lent me once.
Objection!
Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. The spell's broken at last. The rope you found was on the floor, wasn't it? Indeed it was, in lonely coils near the wall. But if Mr. Drebber had used it to escape in the way you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall? Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you'll find, do ropes. And as evidence of such, you need only look at the mystery we face in this room, now skillfully unraveled. That argument is as circular as the coils of rope. I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. I'm sure with some minor corrections, the Great Detective's Great Deduction will lead us to the truth. Yes, you're right. And we must do it quickly, before Enoch Drebber gets too far away. If you're ready, then let us resume. Sherlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. It's course correction time. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. You're wrong as usual. Wronger than you've probably ever been, it feels, but still. It's plain to see this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table and chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor. Every item in the room was on the ceiling. Are you suggesting that... Indeed, the key here is gravity. It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth. But the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality. Goodness! The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. To think gravity could have been reversed in this very room. I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. Only Mr. Sholmes could conceive of such an explanation. But the man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so... Yes, you're quite right. We must completely discount the idea at once. Oh, that's unusually merciless of you, Miss Susato. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective himself said so, didn't he? While refusing to part with his dreams of anti-gravity devices. Yes, I suppose so. Well, let's see if examining this topsy-turvy scene a little more closely reveals some proof that shows exactly what the gravity in this room was or wasn't doing. What am I looking at? Can I move even more? Okay, I can't move too massively amounts, but still. Let's look at this safe. Look, Miss Susato. When everything seems to be upside down in here, this safe is conspicuously the right way up. It's because it's bolted down. Yes, that's true. But look more closely at the safe's feet. That's a lot of very large bolts fixing it to the floor. Think before you speak. That's what you wanted to say, isn't it? I already put my foot in my mouth there. I certainly didn't say that. You did. However, if the interesting thing is an upright object. Upright vase. Oh well, I wasn't expecting to find a pretty bunch of flowers in here, that's for sure. Look at that. I know, that standard little vase looks like it's about to topple at any moment, but the flowers are thriving. Somehow it makes you think of the fragility of life, wouldn't you say? To be honest, Mr. Naruhodo, something else about it made a rather deeper impression on me. Okay, lots of inverted furniture, but that's just proving him. It's not going to be the safe because it's bolted down, so...
Take that!
The upright vase clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business, which was none. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, you've surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps? No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes. Trust me. As you rightly say, though it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down. this unassuming slender vase is standing keenly to attention. And unlike the large safe, there is nothing affixing it to the floor. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, much as it pains me, the gravity in this room was never inverted at all. My deepest sympathies for your loss. Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes. But the show must go on, so let us continue with our deductions. Now that we know this contrivance is not in fact an anti-gravity device, there remains but one other possibility. You don't say. Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture in here. I can see why. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. Namely, why would anyone choose to do that? Quite, and naturally there is an explanation. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of this anti-gravity device. He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't he? I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong. Well, there's no doubt that somebody did this. Somebody turned all of this furniture over. So whoever it was must have had a reason. I'm afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though. Well, let's look around and see if the answer presents itself. Let's have a little bit of a further look at the anti-gravity device, I feel personally. We've already established that gravity wasn't actually reversed in here, haven't we? In other words, this isn't an anti-gravity device at all. Which makes me very curious to know what sort of device it is. But I think for now it's clear that we're looking for an answer elsewhere. That's very much so. Not with anything out there. A coal-burning heater? Why is that important? That's a coal-burning heater, I think, isn't it? Yes, it is. But it's not just for heating, you know. You can grill on it, bake in it, boil and steam things with it. It serves all sorts of purposes. That seems like having your cake and eating it, too. Not unlike a heated kotatsu table with an abe pot, hot pot, and mikan orange, a cat, and an elderly relative. Oh, you mean it seems too much? I suppose perhaps it does. But you realize only some of these things on your list are edible, don't you? I don't know, if the elderly relative dies. Let's pan the screen, which we obviously can do at this point in time. Because, hey, it's one of the most elephantish things in this room. Look, there's something written on the underside of this armchair. Oh yes, safe, 432582. Safe, as in safe and secure. As in secure lockable box, I think. Admittedly, more likely. Well, there is a large safe bolted to the floor on the other side of the room, so yes. So you mean this number would let us open it? I wonder why it's written here, though. Because it's the thing! Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the safe combination. Precisely! I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that you had a very similar experience once, did you not? Yes, last year, when I bought a lottery ticket and noted the ticket number down on the inside cover of a book just in case. That's it! While people are forgetful souls at heart, always make a written note of important information. Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think. And what, pray, happened next, Mr. Naruhodo? When the day of the draw came around, I'd forgotten which book I'd written the number in and had to turn my room upside down to find it. That's it. Well, people are forgetful souls at heart and always forget where they've noted things down. Not if you always note things in the same place. I actually won the second prize, you know. But I couldn't remember which magazine I slipped the ticket into, so I had to turn my room upside... Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo, but I believe I proved my point now. Which is that a very similar scenario has clearly unfolded in this room. Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant in this room needed the combination code. He remembered that he'd written it on the underside of a piece of furniture, but forgot which one. Leading to the state in which we now find the room. Yes, Mr. Drebber overturned all the furniture in here, in a desperate hurry, to locate the combination code that would unlock the safe. And so part 1 is figured out. Flip furniture to find the safe combination has been solved. However, we have topic 2, the missing engineer escaped by the skylight, to go through. which begins now, sure, but, if you know what I mean, doesn't begin just yet, because we will continue this on next time in the Great Ace Attorney to Resolve. We're leaving our Great Deduction unsolved by halves, just so you can start next time with the best deduction of all, our correction, and our finding something for sure. We've got a safe code, we've got to open a safe, right? So I'll see you guys next time for more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Bye-bye.